Hey everyone, it's Garrett from Peacekeeper's Armory. This is a build I've been working on for quite some time now, and I've been talking about it for even longer. This is my latest commission. It is a MB Metal Master chassis, Martin Bear, as you can see. However, it does have a Proffieboard and sports some pretty cool features with all the tech that comes with it. This is a full NeoPixel build. I'll see if I can, yep, you can kind of see in there. Or maybe not. But yeah, full NeoPixel build. So what we have is a 3-watt Saber Essentials 20mm speaker, just a red 3mm LED, an orange 3mm LED, 3 pixels in line for the window, 1 pixel for the crystal chamber, 1 pixel for the plasma gate, and then the pins for the main blade that go up. We got a couple details in there. We got the brass hex mesh going on in the plasma gate. We have smaller brass, let's see if we can get the brass hex mesh in the battery compartment. This is pretty easily removable so that you can pop the batteries in and out. These are 14650s. So with the blade that I tested it with, which is 35 strips, it was about 40 minutes, almost on the dot, of runtime on a blue blade. So not too bad. White was significantly shorter. I haven't tested it with like a Vader's Vault blade, which I do plan to do, which is I believe 50 strips because they're a little bit brighter. But runtime's not too bad with the 14650s. So this was sanded, polished, weathered, all that cool stuff by Troy Sente. So does a phenomenal job. I always have him do mine. I weathered the piping and whatnot before I added it in there. I got a couple different colors going on, brass in there for the hatches, and then copper and aluminum for some of the accenting. So he wanted this built pretty much like the one of the super polished brass saber that you might have seen floating around. The Australian guy makes it. So I also got the PCB up here for that. So it's got a switch and 2 LEDs for the Bluetooth. So it does has a JDY16 Bluetooth module on here, which I'll showcase as well. I got that sitting right here underneath the blade holder. So I'll get this rolling and see what everything it can do. So first, turn it on like normal. So we got power indicator essentially for when this gets power. This was blinking, but now it's not because I have my app running. So here, let me close that. So while it's searching, let me see if I can get it to disconnect. While it's searching, it'll just have a steady blink. The user or the owner wanted something simple for the off state, so this blinks periodically every couple seconds or so, and the crystal pulses, and that's it. When it's on, it does a little bit more, so I'll show that real quick. The first font's Bespin. So I have this. Here, let me. There we go. I have this, the plasma gate mimicking what the blade will do, so it's got a good flicker to it. I left the crystal static. I always liked the scrolling effect of the traditional MB-Saber builds that I've done, so I mimicked that by making these white. There's one font that does have a blue effect, and you can do a lot of different stuff, but that's what I ended up doing with this build. So now you can see this blinks faster, and then we got a periodic blink with the orange LED there. So let me see. So we got Bespin, Hoth font, A New Hope gold, the Flex 8, which is honestly one of my new favorites. It just sounds so clean.
Graflex, TF8 HD,
Shamim's font,
Luke Skywalker,
ROTJ by K-Sith,
Lord Vader,
Vader by K-Sith, Vengeance by K-Sith,
Kylo Ren,
Kylo by K-Sith,
Shepard.
And then he liked my Mass Effect blade and that I did, so I just threw that on there as well. So there's a bunch of tracks on here. Each each font has its own, obviously. So if you do this, this is the fight between Vader and Luke on Bespin. I figured that was appropriate. I believe this is the Battle of Hoth.
Sir, Commander Skywalker.
No, this is the Wampa cave scene.
You might have forgotten to check in. Not likely. Are the speeders ready? Not yet. We're having some trouble.
Owner wanted the that scene for nostalgic reasons, so I put it on there and figured it would be good for the Hoth font. Binary sunset, can't go wrong with that.
Young Rey.
That one has the training one, which I'm sure everybody who's used the K-Sith font knows.
Reflex. TFA HD.
Oh, that has the same one. Ha! I guess I have to change that.
Luke Skywalker.
This has an extended Vader duel. So this is the monologue Vader has.
You cannot hide forever.
And then it goes into the epic music with no clashes, so you can make them yourself. So it's pretty awesome.
Lord Vader.
Vader has the hallway scene.
Vengeance.
Vengeance, I think, is just Duel of the Fates. Close, it's his brother.
Kylo Ren.
Kylo Ren has Kylo's theme from episode 8.
Shepard.
And then Shepard just has the Mass Effect theme, or one of them. So, let me, yeah, we'll throw the blade in. Alright, so we got the blade going on there. Now I'm going to connect the Bluetooth app. So you can see it's steady red, so it's connected now. Here's some of the settings I got for it. So obviously power on and off, clash, blast, lockup, drag, battery level. Changing the volume. When you change the volume, it does reset once you kill the saber with the switch, with the kill switch. This will play the current track on whatever font you're on, and it'll also stop any other track. So here's all the other soundtracks that we put on there. It's quite a bit. Some of them are from fan-made trailers that he wanted. So you could just play any of them, Battle of Hoth, which is pretty awesome. You just hit that to stop it. So turn the saber on. Again, this is the blade I made. It's a 7/8 with custom saber shop blade. Actually, I think it's an old Vader's Vault blade I used on this one. So Vader's Vault blade, custom saber shop, diffuser, foam, and then 35 strips. Turned out really good. And of course you can't see the drag tip on the top. But so volume, obviously 100% is what it's traditionally at, which is the speaker set at 1800. I dropped it from 2000 just because it was a little distorted and I didn't like that. So this bring it down to 75, 50, 25. So that's handy. I guess I'll keep it down here for now. And then you can choose any of these you want. So it's a Celebration and Return of the Jedi. So let's messing it all up, huh? There we go. Alright, so let's so it's Hoth. It's kind of the same. I think, yeah, it's the same color. This is A New Hope, so I got a little bit lighter. It's a little hard to tell on camera maybe, but it's a little more green in the blade. Looks really good if you want to throw this in your A New Hope saber. This one's a lighter blue, so got a hint of white in it, just to kind of match the Last Jedi.
Graphics. TFA HD.
And then we got a darker blue. Yeah, it's not showing the difference really on camera. Oh well. Still cool.
Luke Skywalker.
Got a nice limeish green going with this one. It's one of my favorites. I just threw a little bit of red in there to kind of give it more of a Return of the Jedi feel to it. And then we got white Flash on Clash with orange blaster blocks and lockup.
Lord
Vader. You wanted a little bit of flicker with that, so I threw that in there. Vader's one of my favorite fonts. It just sounds so evil. Of course, this one's really growing on me as well. Same colors, just...
Kylo Ren.
This is the one of the blade styles. I made all these blade styles, but this is one of my favorites because it looks really good. Kind of hard to tell on camera, but it's got a really good unstable effect going on there. And then my Shepherd font. So blade cycle, kind of makes it look like energy beam as opposed to a laser sword. So yeah, that's pretty much that. So it's got full Bluetooth. It's got pretty good range. I haven't tested it to see how far it can go, but you know, across the room, easy. Pretty much all of the fonts are smooth swing, save for a few. Oh, I also do have, grab it real quick. You wanted a blade plug. So I made a little, it's not the cleanest in the world, but it gets the job done. NeoPixel blade plug. It's going in an Empire Strikes Back vintage accurate saber, so you're not going to really see the shine through per se. But you will see it coming up there. So that's pretty much what you want. So got that going too. Volume's still low because that's what I had it set at last. So alright, now lastly, I'm just going to demo how the inside looks. The inside of the inside. So for the customer, anything that breaks or happens from you removing the top hatch, that's going to kind of be on you. Obviously, I'll fix it for you, but you have to pay to ship it back, and depending on what exactly is broken, then you know that'll determine the cost on that. But if there's anything wrong with it out of the gate, or if something just starts failing, then that'll be covered by me. So first, I'll show you what I am allowing you to do, and that is to remove the bottom hatch to replace the batteries. I'm giving you a spare set of batteries. It recharges fine through here. It's a lot faster if you have an external battery charger. So you can see the two pins. Let's see. Focus. So you can see the aluminum pins there, and then the brass ones. What you want to do is you want to get a small screwdriver and push the brass pins up. Just like this. And you can see those pop out. And honestly, you can even squeeze this a little bit and they'll kind of slide out as well. So, of course, the other one's popped in. And then just use some pliers to gently pull these out. Sorry for the hair, I have a dog and it kind of gets everywhere. Then just wiggle that off. There's your battery hatch. And here's your batteries. So I got some nice chrome tape or aluminum tape, whatever you want to call it, on here. I'm going to give you some spare of those as well, in case you can see what they're pressing on there. It kind of indents this a little bit, but it's not that big of a deal. So you just pop these out. The springs are on this side and the contacts are on this side. So positive up here always on both of them. Some of them have them swapped for a serial or for a series, but these are parallel for the boards. So you just kind of roll these up and then you can pop it out. I don't think you have to plug the charger in for the PCB battery protector I have in here. But if you don't want to worry about that, then just swap one battery at a time, because you still get power with the one battery since it's running on 3.7 volts. Obviously, if you turn it on, it'll probably drain extremely quick. So yeah, just pop that in. Make sure you pop the negative side on the spring side, and then you'll be good to go. Align it, just make sure that the tape goes all the way to the edge so that you don't have any shine through of the red, and then pop this on with the venting on the back. Squeeze this down. It's a little tighter going back in. There you go. It's like new. Now, I'm just going to show you what it looks like on the inside. Again, I don't recommend you do this. If you do access it for any reason, just be extremely careful. There's a lot of wires going on in there, so don't want anything bad to happen. So these pins are going to be right there. You can see one right here and one right here. Just use the same screwdriver, pop them down. Maybe. I've been doing this a lot while I'm adjusting the settings and all that stuff, so it's withstood all that, so it should be pretty secure. However, it's still always a risk, and you have to do it very carefully. So, hatch is completely removable. Just gotta wiggle it off a little bit. So I still used these because it directs the light from the pixels a little bit better to come out here. I couldn't separate them fully, like yeah, as you can see, there's bleed through on the other windows, but there's only so much you can do. Put a little bit of mesh in there as well, which turned out pretty good. So my tried and true method of cookie cutter or cookie sheet diffusion for the window looks great. All right, and here we got what's on the inside. So as you can see, we got the 3 pixels here. It looks a little more messy because I added some insulator on these just to make sure there is no shorts. You can see the LED is glued into this, so that you don't want to throw around too much. The buttons are accessible, but you shouldn't need them. I mean, I haven't used them in a while since the new updates that make it easier to connect to the computer. It's pretty easy to access this. Just pop this up, plug into your computer, and you can do your updates, and then you can just slide the board out from there. You can see the PCB sort of down there. I put a lot of insulator on top of it because we don't want any shorts, especially because that's where most of the power is coming from. And yeah, it's not the cleanest in the world. I had to adjust the Martin Bayer provided or sold Proffieboard adapter because I needed most of the wires to go underneath the board. Everything to the speaker, the power, recharge port, switch, all that stuff. So, oh, and I didn't mention, this is actually a sub blade. So I have, I think, 6 blades on this, technically. So this is one blade, the speaker LED. This is one blade. Sorry, this is one blade. And then, so that's 2. I have 3, 4, 5, and then 6 is the main blade. However, 3, 4, 5, and 6 are all on one string. So this is sub blade 1, 2, 3, 4. So it made the wiring a lot less hectic. I just have one set of 3 wires coming from the board to this, then here to the crystal to the plasma gate, and the plasma gate to the main connector. So that made wiring a lot easier. I'll throw on a picture of the wiring diagram, which is pretty nuts. Again, I spent a long time on this. So just make sure this is seated right. I haven't had any issues with the board popping out or getting some weird wobbles or what's it called, like motion. So once everything's all buttoned up, then it's pretty solid. So throw this back on. You need to make sure this is aligned right. So just kind of get it on there as best you can. Push this forward or down or however it may need to go. And then squeeze it down shut. This still rattles a little bit. You're not supposed to glue it down, and you really can't if you want to be able to access it for future use. So, which I needed to be able to do, especially because I already have to make another change. That one font had the wrong soundtrack on it. So yeah, that's the Saber. It's pretty awesome. I believe it's the first MB to have Profi. I know there's the one or two that had MB-Saber, which is essentially the same thing, but it's still pretty awesome. Now it's back at full volume, as you can see. I love this thing. So yeah, that's it. Hope you guys enjoyed the little video, and to the customer, I hope you enjoy the Saber.